Welcome to the Success Files with the Traveling Finance Marketer, your shortcut to mastering finance. We chat with top experts, revealing their stories, tips and tricks to boost your career. Join us in navigating the financial world and don't forget to subscribe. Let's dive into the Success Files.
Hey, welcome to the first episode of the Success Files podcast with me, Ryan Holdaway, aka the Travelling Finance Marketer. And this is coming to you from one of our favourite beaches in Mauritius, which is a little island off the east coast of Africa. Over there we have swum with big 4-foot turtles, and over there you can get some really amazing local food. In this episode we'll be talking to Joe Froud, who is a financial advisor from Best Life Financial. In this episode we talk about the importance of mentorship, matching personality types of how you onboard clients. So it's going to be a really good episode. Give it a listen and let me know what you think at the end. So on today's episode, we have got Joe Froud. Joe is from Best Life Financial. I've got that right, haven't I, Joe?
That's correct, yeah.
Cool. And full disclosure, me and Joe have been friends for since we were 6 years old, and so what, 30 odd years?
Yeah, it's been a long time, right?
That's a long time. So I think, to be honest, I think Best Life Financial, the name you've given yourself summarizes your ethos for your practice quite well. You're about, from my understanding, you can obviously describe it as you please, but it's all about helping people live their best life fundamentally. So is it less about I manage your money and look after your money and help you invest, but it's about understanding how you can help them later in life. Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, don't get me wrong, we absolutely still do the pensions bits, the investment stuff, that's all very important. But we believe that the starting point has to be figuring out, what does this person who's sitting in front of us want to achieve with their life? A lot of the time people don't know that. So we have some quite sort of searching life planning questions that we take them through. And then only when we're absolutely clear on what they want to get out of their life do we then start thinking about, okay, what do you need to do with your pensions? What do you need to do with your investments, etc.?
It's a really nice way to start a conversation. So I actually did a LinkedIn post recently about how to build rapport. And it's not talking about the weather or their dog or anything like that. It's about speaking to them as a person and trying to understand them directly. So I think that's a really nice way of doing it. And like you say, I bet a lot of people haven't actually thought about that before, actually sat down and properly thought about, what is it that I want to achieve later in life?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did see your post the other day, Ryan, and I did actually realize that I pretty much every single time revert to talking about the weather or something like that. So it's probably something I need to.
Well, at least someone's reading it.
But yes, no, a lot of people, they fully expect to come in and be, grilled about their pensions, investments, and stuff like that, and they're often surprised when the starting point is just us really trying to get to know them.
Is that quite jarring for people at the first time? Because like you say, they probably come in with expectations. Is that something that's brought up just on that first interaction, or is there a way you interact with them before you actually jump on that call to let them know and give expectations?
Yeah, we send them all of the questions that we're going to ask them before. We tried it where we just kind of got them in and without any warning, just started asking them about these things, and people they just didn't really have any answers. So we give them space and time by themselves to think about their answers before they come in.
That's pretty cool. And there's, like I say, there's a lot more. There's a lot more value in that. You're making it nice and personal. So, if you can tell me about your journey so far. So, from what I remember, and I'm going back off knowledge from about 10, 15 years ago, you started working at a pension firm, didn't you? So, if you just tell me a bit about your journey and how you've got to where you are, and leading up to sort of today, really.
Yeah, so I got a job at a pensions administration company. I had various jobs before that, but I won't bore you with those.
Butlins.
So, yeah, Butlins. Yeah, the call centre. That was a good fun one. But
that was a good job. That was.
It was. We got some decent bonuses at 16 years old or however
We did,
however we are.
and half price food on the resort.
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, so yeah, I got this job in pensions administration, and to be honest, at the time it was very boring. It was very just learning about pensions, and I very much felt like a cog in the machine, a big corporate company.
Yeah.
Um, but in hindsight, I learned a lot about, just general working in an office and actually the core foundation of pensions knowledge that I built up and the qualifications and things that I did whilst working there has actually helped me massively in my career.
Yeah, I bet it has. And
Yeah.
when you went into that role, into that pensions role, did you do it just for a job, or did you know at that point that working in financial services in some capacity, or even becoming a financial advisor, was something you wanted to do?
No, yeah, absolutely not. I think, like most financial planners, I very much fell into it. Went for the job because it was local. It was probably paying a bit more than what I was on, and yeah, it was just something to do. But it was, yeah, after I'd been there for a few years and I realized that it was very tedious. And as I say, it felt like a cog in the machine. I started to look elsewhere. And that's when I found this job as a paraplanner, so providing
Okay.
technical research and support to financial advisors. And as soon as I started there and I was working with these financial advisors, I realized that was my calling, if you like, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I could see that the value that these financial advisors were giving to their clients, and I felt that I could do that too.
And you talk about value, and whenever I'm talking with a new client for our agency, I always say that there's two reasons why we start up our company. One was the experience that we've had from working in promoting financial services, but the other, which is probably more important, is understanding and knowing the value of the services that you provide. I'm going on autopilot here, but even financial literacy is really, really scarce. And as I'm sure you're aware, even sophisticated, high net worth individuals still need help and support. So I
Mm.
think that having a genuine belief in your field is so important. So that was something that originated in that paraplanning role.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was the not necessarily doing the power planning itself, but more seeing yeah, as I say, seeing the
The
value
impact.
that these advisors were giving. Yeah, and to be honest, that was more a firm where they were purely sort of doing more of the investment and pensions advice, not the life planning. So being able to combine the two, I think, has meant that we can deliver, significant value to our clients.
That's it. And so tell me about the how you progressed from there. So you've got qualified since then. And is it fair to say that you've done this all on your own, or on your own back? Have you had much support, or is it something that you've just completely initiated on your own?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, not trying to get my violin out or anything, but I didn't come from a wealthy background or anything like that with a lot of financial support or anything like that. This has been something that I've been sort of very committed to over the last what sort of 14 years, putting myself through exam after exam after
Yeah.
exam and just hard work, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely paid off, and you're now in a position where you've got, is it like level 7 or something like that? To be honest, I've forgotten what levels they go up to on your side of things.
Yeah, yeah, I did the level 7, the CFP, a couple of years ago, which was a really nice way to really just make sure that I am delivering the financial plans to the highest standard, I think.
Yeah, okay. So let's move on to today. You run your own practice, and something I know that you're very keen on is having a really, really good work-life balance. And you listen to a lot of Rob Moore's stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, I've consumed a fair amount of Rob Moore's content over the years. And yeah, work-life balance is absolutely key for me. I've got two young children, and being able to do the school run each morning, be there to collect them on occasion, not missing a club or a show or something like that is really important for me.
Yeah, I can imagine, and that's something that because as you can imagine, I speak to a lot of financial advisors day to day, and that's well, there's two things. It's the flexibility and obviously the recurring income from charging a percentage of assets under management, um, and yeah, that flexibility is so important. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, if you could tell me about your client acquisition then. How are you currently finding your clients? How are you currently sourcing your clients? What is it you're doing to grow your book and assets under management?
Yeah, right. I will just, if we can just rewind a second, actually, just thinking a bit more about it, because you mentioned Rob Moore,
Okay.
and probably got a little bit more I can say on that. Because
Okay.
so Rob Moore's book Life Leverage was, uh, I did a post recently where I put my top five books, and I listed that book on there because it was a real sort of game changer for me. Just the way that just the way he changed my mindset from sort of, rather than just thinking about how much money I could potentially make or how successful I could be, it was more about optimizing for time instead.
Mm.
And yeah, being able to sort of put a number or a value on your time has helped me massively. Yeah, I just
So have
wanted
you?
to add that in.
No, no, that's fine. So have you actually sat down? Because I know that you've recommended the book. I've read one of his property ones, but I haven't read Life Leverage. So, have you literally sat down and put a figure to the tasks, a monetary value to the tasks, and then you've worked out accordingly how you can free up your time or outsource to maximize your, your time versus money? Is that sort of along the right lines?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I didn't do it overly scientifically or anything like that. I prefer to look at the sort of the bigger concepts and just sort of and take a view from there. But yeah, definitely implemented a lot from that book, and I would highly recommend it. I think the sort of the uh, the book is called something like Life Leverage: How to Create Your Ideal Mobile Lifestyle. So I've not fully implemented it in that regard, but the other thing I would say is I use this. I use a lot of the concepts in that book with my clients because
Yep.
it aligns perfectly. What we are doing for our clients is helping them live their ideal lifestyle. So it's quite a nice crossover, and I'd like to be able to sort of show that, I'm sort of walking the walk as well, if you like.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important. So how have you implemented this in your business? Because yeah, what specifically have you done? Is it bring in new staff? Is it implement systems? How is it that you've implemented some of those learnings from that book?
Yeah. So I guess the starting point for me is only doing what only I can do. So if it's something which can be done by someone else, then they're doing it basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got one member of staff at the moment. We outsource work to some sort of research and report writers who can do a lot of the technical stuff and keep up to date with the ever changing legislation and things like that.
Yeah.
Enabling me to focus on the important bits, which are seeing my clients, build, growing the business, supporting staff, and yeah, obviously the most important thing being just to be there for the clients and provide a amazing service to them. So yeah, insourcing, outsourcing, systems, the internet, a number of concepts he discusses in the book we implement on a day-to-day basis.
That's really, really cool. Because a lot of the people that I speak to are it's a bit of a mix to be honest, but a lot of them are individuals who understand they want to help people, they understand the industry, they've got all their qualifications, but their work they spend so much time on activities which aren't beneficial. For example, one of the questions I get quite a lot is, what is it you do? Could we do our marketing ourselves? I say absolutely, it's something you could do, but did you wake up at did when you were 10 years old, did you sort of go, I want to be a Facebook ads manager when I'm older? It's that thing. We've learnt our skill set over a number of years, so that people like you can outsource it, so they don't have to go through that learning. And in
Yeah,
any business, you can't wear every single hat. There will always be people who can do certain aspects better. So I think that having those skill sets available, like you say, whether it's outsourcing or insourcing, is really, really valuable. And then
definitely.
talking of books, what else is on your top five list?
Oh, the top five list. It was a bit of a general list. There was an amazing book that I read called In Defense of Food. Nothing to do with marketing or finance or anything like that, but it was
Okay,
basically, yeah, there's just a good book which has kind of guided me on everything I eat nowadays. Yeah, so that was a
interesting.
good one.
Because
Yeah.
you're I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it yet. You do CrossFit.
Yeah, how do you know someone does CrossFit? They've already
That's
told
it.
you.
Is
Yes,
that why that book was so important, because you look after your health and well-being?
yeah, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I can summarize the book in a sentence, which is
Got it.
basically just eat whole foods. Don't eat anything processed. It's kind of
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I try and live by. But yeah, what
Yeah.
else did I have on there?
My my
Psychology of
my my,
Money,
my
probably on
go-to book for nutrition is The Hungry Caterpillar.
there. Nice, nice.
So what are you saying? The
I can't actually remember the five that I put on there. I think Surrounded by Idiots is a fascinating one. Just looking around at my bookshelf now, Surrounded by Idiots is a great book for learning about different personality types.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's had a direct impact on the work that we do here. It very simply categorizes people into four different colors. Got yellow, blue, green, and red. And now within a second of someone walking into the office and us starting to talk, I'm pretty clear on what personality type they are, and it's never that black and white. Someone might be a blue with a sprinkling of other colors,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it
Okay,
really
that's
helps with, yeah, it helps with
sorry.
kind of how you interact with the different personality types.
Interesting. So there's yellow, blue, green, and red. Can you tell me about those?
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say a red personality type is someone who probably comes in very sort of assertive. They know what they want. They probably just want you to do what they want. And um, for example, I was talking earlier about how we do this life planning. If you had a red personality type come in and they just want you to fix their pension, for example, they're probably not going to be so interested in all the fluffy stuff, all the life planning questions that we're
Yeah.
doing. They just want you to fix it, and they wanted it done yesterday. So you're probably going to deal with them in a slightly different way. Um, Yellow personality type, very sort of creative, dreamy, probably like the sort of cash flow planning that we're doing and the
Yeah.
forecasts, like to be able to visualize stuff. Blue being very sort of analytical. I'm probably a bit of a blue personality myself. Likes to know the numbers. Likes doesn't want any typos in their reports. That type of
Yeah.
thing. And a green.
I thought you were talking about blood type there. Typos. Oh, typo.
Yeah. And then a green. You're testing me on my knowledge of the book now, but I think a green was just more of like a generalist, I think, is kind of what I took away. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's really important. I think that's really important. I suppose it's important with any type of business, fully understanding and tailoring what you're doing to that particular person. I don't really think there's enough of it, and I
Mm.
suppose the benefit to the client or potential client is they get a better service from you. B, you can tailor what you offer, but importantly to you, um, I can imagine it helps with the onboarding and the conversion rate of actually being able to take someone from being a potential client to a client. Have you found that some of these things you've been implementing have actually had a direct impact on your ability to onboard clients?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the most important thing in what we do, and probably in most professions, I would say, is how the client feels. We can deliver the most technical and comprehensive and sophisticated financial plan, but the client is going to remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these sort of learnings are very important in that regard.
Yeah. So talking about client acquisition, I started to talk about this before, but
Mm.
how are you growing your practice at the moment? Because I know that you're a member of the golf club. You're a big fan of golf, and I know that you do a lot of networking. Is that predominantly how you're generating your clients at the moment?
No, the most common so we keep a tracker with all of our inquiries, and
Okay.
by far the most inquiries come through referrals for us,
Yeah.
which is something that we definitely need to address to get some inquiries from other areas. Um, so yeah, referrals are the most common source of inquiries for us.
Yeah, it's to be honest, that's I think that 90% of the financial advisors we speak to are in the same position, and we've actually had a chat about paid marketing and how we can help and all that sort of stuff. And um, the way that I like to describe paid marketing specifically is that we're artificially creating a referral pipeline. So rather than having to rely on years worth of contacts and all that sort of stuff, we artificially create that referral network that you can dip into, so that it's never about the opportunity we create today. It's about building up that pipeline and maintaining that rapport with them, so that when they are ready, they'll come back to you because they know that you're the best. So it's it again, you're probably ahead of the curve being able by tracking these things. I think the vast majority of people I speak to don't. What else is it that you track in your business? Is there anything else?
No, we're terrible for that, actually. I know some advisors that I know track every sort of little metric, but yeah, I just don't. Yeah, don't do a lot of the things that I'm probably supposed to do as a business owner. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, we don't track any other metrics, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough. Um, so yeah, so in your LinkedIn profile, you say you have a unique approach to creating transformable financial and life planning. Could we dig a bit deeper into the actual how you do what you do, and what's um, maybe how that idea has come about in the first place?
Yeah, so I, I think it is quite unique. There's this idea that if you're the top 10% in a number of different things, then it makes you sort of one in a million, if you like. So if we specialize in retirement planning. I'm a
Yep.
CFP. We only deal with clients who are roughly sort of 10 to 15, well, from about 15 years to retirement. So when once you apply all of these things, it should make us sort of one in a million. But our life planning process is kind of a combination of learnings from different sort of mentors, and we haven't sort of just taken one and said, right, that's what we're going to do. We've sort of taken the best bits from each of them,
Yep.
and and created our own sort of set of questions and way of speaking to people, which is unique to us.
Interesting. Okay, and you talk about mentorship. Is that something you're a big advocate of? And in what capacity? Because mentorship could be anything from simply following someone like Rob Moore and consuming the content, to paying tens of thousands of pounds or dollars for our US listeners. So what does mentorship mean to you, and how have you implemented that?
Yeah, mentorship for me, I guess, is more. Yeah, you mentioned just sort of following people and reading their content, watching their videos, and things like that. I would say there's that side of it, but then also I have done some more sort of formal courses with actually registered businesses, and the Kinder Institute of Life Planning being one of them. But I'm also, a big fan of, Naval Ravikant. He talks about, you don't need a mentor, you just need to take action. And I think it can be very easy for people to get stuck in, just reading book after book after book,
Yeah.
consuming content, but never actually doing anything.
Yeah. I'm aware of people who do that. They think that by consuming content, they're actually actioning things, but there needs to be a balance. And I think you're absolutely right that nothing beats hands-on experience. Not to say there is no value, but I think doing before mentorship. For me, mentorship is more about optimizing what you're currently doing rather than guiding you from a standing start.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Ryan.
Oh, thanks, Joe. To be honest, I think that's a lot of the questions that I've got that I had. Is there anything else that you want to talk about at all?
No, I don't think so, Ryan. I think, I hope that's been helpful. And thank you for inviting me on.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks for joining us on the Success Files. Don't forget to take our free financial business health check at theonlinegrowthco.com/health check to identify growth opportunities in your practice. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate and review the show. Until next time, keep pushing forward and unlocking your full potential. This is the Success Files, signing off.